system. The problem is that if you put these things up any higher, he can't see you on the camera. It obscures the view. So
Some of them, it should be.
What we need to do is we'll cut a hole here.
You guys ready? 7 o'clock.
we'll figure something out.
Okay, we're going to call the March 6th work session to order, and we're going to stand and have the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Thomas, would you please?
Okay, the first item this evening is the Robinson Lot Line Consolidation Plan. If you look in your packets, I will show you a copy of the proposed plan, as well as a picture on the GIS map, which actually I think probably helps you understand the site better. So there's 3 lots here comprising just a little bit over 25 acres, I believe. And right now they're on 3 separate lots. They just want to consolidate the lots. The 3 lots are this small piece down here, this old railroad bed, and then the main lot. I'd also like to point out that this small carve-out piece here used to be part of their lot. That is the part that they gave to the borough for this football field down here. It was given to the borough in the form of a 20-year lease about 15 or so years ago, and then about 2 or 3 years ago, they just actually gave the borough the property, and it's now part of the borough. The borough owns the property. So all they're trying to do right now is consolidate the 3 lots. This is a simple lot line revision or a simple subdivision. Normally, what we would have you do is accept the application as complete. However, since the applicant has been able to just sort of get everything done very quickly and timely, we are actually in the position, we find ourselves in the position where we actually can recommend just approving the lot line revision as complete.
Any discussion? Okay, agenda item.
The second item, if you look in your agenda packets, and Mr. Sabasti's prepared a summary of the agenda amendments. So this is a proposed amendment to the zoning ordinance. The last major overhaul to the zoning ordinance was done in 2017. That was a rather comprehensive overhaul of the zoning ordinance. And then since then, this would be the second, correct, Dave? The third amendment, which is not uncommon, right? Especially in a community that's growing and dealing with some of the issues that we're dealing with. So this latest amendment, Mr. Sabasti and his staff have been working through with the Planning and Economic Development Committee, and he's going to go through your summary of everything.
So, overall, and this is not an agenda item, this is just an information item for next month. We've challenged our community development department to sort of stay on a regular schedule, maybe 1 or 2 of these amendments a year, so things can get taken care of on a timely basis and we don't end up with these large amendments. But this goes all the way back into January. Staff met with the Planning and Economic Development Committee. They were happy with the amendments. They recommended it move forward to Planning Commission. It did move forward to Planning Commission, and they recommended approval. So we're going through posting, advertising. Letters have been sent out already. There are 11 proposed zoning map changes. These are part of the ongoing cleanup of the 2017 map revision. And you can see under ordinance highlights in front of you really what this ordinance addresses, some definitions, some parking issues, issues related to self-storage units, pretty basic items, but really I just wanted to make you aware that this ordinance is in your packet, and we're preparing for a public hearing on a month from now, ahead of the agenda meeting. So if you have any questions, please let me know, let planning staff know. We'd be happy to let you know. But it's a pretty small amendment, but just wanted to make sure you knew that the information was out there and available for you to review.
Thanks, Dave. Any conversation, discussion? Okay, that's an agenda item.
No, this does not need to be an
not.
agenda item for next
Okay.
week. We put it on the agenda this month just for informational purposes only. It will be an agenda item for next month, though. The next agenda item is the COLA, the cost of living for the retired police officer. As you know, we go through these almost every month anymore. What you have from the actuary is the cost of living adjustment as calculated by the actuary according to the police pension plan and Act 600. Like I said, we do these about once a month anymore. Okay? Is that an agenda item?
Is that an agenda item? No discussion? Okay.
Okay. The next item is the new administrative hires, and those would be, the actual hires themselves would be discussed in executive session, or the recommendation from staff, and the resumes themselves from the applicants. However, so there are 3 positions, 2 administrative assistants, 1 in administration, 1 in police, and an IT specialist, to work in, obviously, in all the departments, to assist Jason, our IT director. All 3 positions are budgeted. The police position is actually a replacement, so there's 0 budget impact to that one. And again, this would be 3 separate motions next week on the, well, hopefully 3, but at least 2 next week.
Any discussion? Okay, make it an agenda item.
Okay, the next item, the last time we discussed this, I think we spent a good half an hour, if not more, getting down into the weeds on this. So council said, just work with the personnel committee on getting the details of this policy. Jess, can you turn the other ones on, just in case? I wonder why they're not on. Huh. I don't know if PJ maybe, no, they're not off? Huh. Don't know why. They were on earlier. In any event, I've worked on multiple occasions with the Personnel Committee on trying to put together this policy. And admittedly, this is going to have to be one of those sort of living documents that we're going to continue to amend as we become more and more familiar with the rental operations and other the issues that, as they come up. As you know, just prior to walking in here, we talked about a couple that had just come up just this afternoon. So, but we need to get something in place so we can start renting the facility. We already have, I don't know, 8 to 10 bookings already for the party gym, for the party rooms, for the banquet facility, and we have a lot of requests to use the gym. So we need to get something in place. We do understand that we may be amending this again next month. So, but what we've given you in the agenda packets is the pricing structure and requirements for each of the various facilities. So if you look at the banquet hall, we've broken it down by times of year, as well as different rental times between weekday and weekend, because that's more of a prime usage. There is a discount for borough residents. There is a premium on weekend usage. And we've tried to be as specific as possible and as detailed as possible. Some of the highlights that I'll go over. So for example, one of the things that came up was the permission to serve alcohol or not. So what the committee is recommending is 2 different levels of alcohol service. One, which would be a self-serve alcohol, which is basically when you rent the facility and you've got some coolers of beer, cans of beer and whatnot at like a graduation party or something. And the other level would be when somebody wants to actually serve alcohol, serve liquor, hard liquor, and serve drinks. The requirement would be that they would have to pay the same $75 fee for the permit to serve the alcohol, but that they would have to take advantage of a bartender service through the borough, and the borough would provide that bartender. And that actual cost would be provided by, or that actual cost would be paid by the person renting the facility. There would be no markup on it. It would just be a pass-through cost. Some of the other things we talked about are security deposits that vary by facility, some other setup fees, a $75 fee to use the outdoor kitchen in the spring and summer, a $25 setup fee for AV, for audio-video assistance that we would have to do. The system in the building itself is pretty plug-and-play. So if you go into the banquet hall or any of the rooms, you can go in and just plug an HDMI cord in and just play it right on the TV. So if you were renting the banquet facility for, graduation party and you wanted to just, show pictures or show a video or something, you wouldn't need our assistance, you wouldn't need to pay that fee. But if you wanted the IT staff to set something up for you, to manage it for you, that's what that $25 fee is for. So not everybody would need to use it just to be able to put something on the monitors. A 75% cancellation fee if it's canceled less than 30 days prior to the event, proposed event. And then both the gymnasium and the party room are on the next spreadsheet. Same format, fees are a little bit different, and the time of year, there's a little bit different restrictions on time of year. We spent an awful lot of time between the staff and the personnel committee kind of going over this, so I'd ask you to take a look at this and make sure that you're comfortable with it. I can tell you that, and if you'd like to see it, we can send it to you. We've compared these rates to other communities. I think we're on the lower end when we compare ourselves to other communities, and I think we've got some additional features that some of these other communities don't have in their rental facilities. So we tried to price it based on the parameters that the personnel committee gave us. So basically what we did is we arrived at a cost to maintain these facilities plus 10% for, improvements over time.
Maintenance fees.
Yes.
Let me ask one question I can see, I don't see here, maybe it's just we haven't got to it yet, is what about cleanup fees? What are they expected to do that needs spelled out? What are they not expected? What will the borough do,
So cleanup fees are included in the policy. For the banquet facility, if you rent the facility on the weekend for an event, we are going to have someone come out and clean it. We felt very strongly that we didn't want to get into this charging someone a cleanup deposit, and if they cleaned it up, they can get it back. That's too much of a mess, no pun intended. So the committee felt, and the staff felt very strongly too, that we're just going to charge a cleanup fee for every time someone rents this facility on the weekends. Now, if EMS rents it, next week for a CPR class, it doesn't need to be cleaned after that.
Right,
This is for an event, for a graduation party, wedding, those kind of things, a banquet. So we've built that cleaning fee right into
You think
the
that rate
facility.
encompasses that? I mean, that's
Yes.
overtime, obviously.
Yes.
Whoever's gonna, okay.
Yes.
If you're comfortable with it, okay, I will be. Just want to
And-
make sure it was included, that's
Yes.
all.
Mike, can you make me somewhere along the trail here, hard copy of this?
This cannot be printed.
Cannot be printed.
It cannot be printed. It will not go on paper.
Hey, Mike, you're gonna need we're gonna need something in addition to this, so like they said, when they rent it, they're gonna need to get something that says, this is what you gotta do, this is what we expect from you. They're gonna need something, some kind of agreement or something that's got in there, says you have to clean, you have to clean, you have to like at least throw things in the garbage can, whatever it is.
So so the staff has been working on, if you give me, Dave or Jess, you know exactly where it is?
Yeah,
Huh?
like a rental contract.
It's just on the admin, it's not on SharePoint?
No, it is SharePoint, just under the admin folder.
Oh, okay, SharePoint, admin. This one? Or the main?
Yeah, it should be that one, scroll down.
Library?
Yep. The draft.
So this is the document that staff has been working on that the residents will get when they, so it's got all the rules and guidelines, it's got all the forms included in it, all the releases and everything.
Policy.
So what we put in the agenda packet was just sort of a summary to help council, because if I put a 30-page document in here, we'd never be able to get through it tonight. But what we want to do is take that, so, and those two spreadsheets that you saw in the agenda packet are part of this. So when anybody wants to rent this, this will be available on our website. They can download it as a PDF. Or when anybody wants to rent it, we can print them out a hard copy, because there are some documents that they'll have to sign that are included in this document.
And then there'll be like a DocuSign or something they have to.
We haven't worked through that yet. We're probably at least initially gonna start with just paper documents and scan them back in until we can work on getting it done through jot form or something like that, that can be all electronic. Yes.
Okay, any further discussion? Agenda item?
No, but can you put that in our packets at some point or send it to us? The-
Yeah,
The whole
absolutely.
thing?
Well, you guys have access to it. It's right on SharePoint. You can pull any documents
I
that
don't know
are.
how to get there, Mike.
I can help you.
I get 1,000 SharePoint sites at work, I can't even find them.
We
I
can,
gotta find them here.
Mike, we can
We'll,
get into that.
we'll send you a copy. Well, actually, we'll
Yeah.
upload a copy to the OneNote document.
Okay. Better.
But just so
better
you
yet.
know, any document that's on the SharePoint site, you guys can access.
That means nothing.
We have to be able to access.
That means nothing. Yeah, it's easier to say, could you please send that to me?
I just learned how to work the GPS at work. Come on, I'm not kidding.
My mouth on it, yeah. Hey, I'm good with the phone, that's about it.
Yeah.
Okay, agenda item?
Skip, I'm gonna put I'm gonna put an iPad with it in your mailbox.
You don't have.
Okay, and so then the last item for discussion this evening for the agenda is the borough building cleaning bids. In the 2023 budget, we had, because of obviously the new facilities, because we took over the library, if you remember last year, and we were responsible for cleaning at other borough buildings here and other maintenance. We had budgeted for additional full-time janitorial staff or day porters. And taking a look at that for a number of different reasons, staff would like to at least investigate the possibility of doing some sort of hybrid model for cleaning and maintenance of the facilities. One of the reasons is because we think it'll be more cost-effective to do it that way. We still think we're going to need at least one full-time janitor here, but we might outsource some of the other regular functions. And one of the main reasons we started thinking about this was because when we need the banquet facilities cleaned, it needs to be done on a Saturday night and a Sunday night and a Friday night. And so then we'd have to try and figure out how do we staff all that. So we thought, well, you know what, maybe we need to look at just having a cleaning company come in that can do that on a per time basis. So what we're hoping for permission to do, and this doesn't need to be an agenda item for next week, we just want to make sure, and we discussed this in the Personnel Committee, and they recommended it as well. We're looking for your authorization, again, it doesn't need to be voted on next week, to put out a bid for cleaning services for the facilities. It would be a limited cleaning services, not 100%. But there are other things that need to be cleaned that we can't, we have other issues related to CJIS certification down in the police department, so, criminal justice clearance down in the police department. So it would just be better if we could coordinate all these cleanings, especially in the police department. And so the idea is we would like to put together a bid spec to send out and get some proposals from some cleaning companies that again would be a combination of outsourced and full-time janitor services. And then we'd bring that to council at the April meeting with some sort of recommendation either to accept the proposal or maybe we just decide to stay with all full-time janitors.
Any discussion? Questions? Agenda item?
Does not need to be an agenda item, we just want to make sure you guys are all on board
Okay.
with it before we start putting together bid specs.
Okay.
Okay. Now, other than the executive session item and/or public comment, that completes the agenda.
Sir, do you have something you'd like to discuss?
Oh, no, I'm media guy.
Oh, okay. Okay,
We'll just adjourn to executive
we'll just
session.
adjourn, and we're going to have an executive session. Yeah.
Very quickly. Oh, I'm Harry Fuchs, my name. I'm here more or less to meet